The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Happy Thanksgiving to our American friends.
That's right.
Especially one Austin Matthews, who on the eve of Thanksgiving scored himself a couple goals, got an assist, and broke a goalless streak. But you know what? The thing about Austin Matthews is his goalless streak, what a bust.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, he was a bust draft pick, and so was his goalless streak. You know who had the best goalless streak?
Who?
Matt Martin.
Oh, yes.
Who in Game 20 finally snapped his Leaf goalless streak, and I'm sure it extended in the last season with a goal.
Yes.
Congratulations, Matt Martin. That had to feel good.
And I mean, it is Thanksgiving, and you should be giving thanks to, just in general. Mm-hmm. Thanksgiving is when you just give thanks in general.
Just thank people.
But I mean, Matthew should be thanking me.
Oh,
I'm the reason he broke that streak.
I saw you on Twitter last night taking credit for that. So how did that all occur?
In my previous LFR video, I did a thing. I lit one of my wife's Christmas candles, and I prayed to the hockey demons because the hockey gods were cursing Matthews, and I said, "Hockey demons, I would like Austin Matthews to score a goal or two if you're feeling generous, and in return, I won't be mad if the Leafs lose." Sure enough, he gives them a 1-0 and then a 3-0 lead, and they lost.
Yeah, and it really...
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
It is.
And I'm not.
It's another happy loss because every time he scores, it's great.
Apparently, I saw a stat. The Leafs are 0-2-2 when he scores and 6-0 when Marner scores.
0-2-2. So he scored in 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Marner's only scored in 6. It's only 2 more. 6 out of 20.
That's wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out till someone writes an article why the Leafs rookies only score in bunches and why that's bad.
I think Marner's on pace for 72 points.
Matthews?
Marner.
I think it's gone down.
Matthews
I
is
think
on
heading
pace.
into last night.
Yeah, before last night.
I think they're because they both have 16 points in 20 games. So I think
before last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. James Myrtle tweeted that Matthews is now again on pace for 70 points this year.
Yeah, which
is amazing.
I think what I saw was Marner and Matthews are both on pace for 65.6 points, which you obviously can't score. You either score 65 or 66. The reason that's important is because the Leafs' rookie record for points in a season by Peter Inachek
in 1981,
82 or 3, something like that, is 66 points.
Wow.
Leafs could have 3 guys break it.
Even Wendy Clarkman did not get 66 points in his first, and he was what, 85, 86? He was
drafted in 1985, so he would have been 85, 86. He holds the Leafs rookie record for goals in a season.
And that was his career high, right?
34
goals.
Which Mitch Marner was on pace to be close to. That's so hard for a rookie, man.
And this, especially in today's, if you didn't score 30 goals in 80s NHL, you were probably pretty bad.
Yeah, I saw this great one. The last time the Leafs had 3 guys score 30 goals, it was list of 3 players I didn't recognize. Well, that's not true. I recognize a couple of them.
Kuhlman, MacArthur, and...
No, this is in the 80s, man.
Really?
The 80s, oh yeah.
3 players that scored 30 goals in a season? We haven't had that since?
I don't think so, no.
No, wasn't the Kuhlman and MacArthur...
No, it was...
Grabowski, what was that line? They all scored 20.
No, I know the season you're talking about. Kuhlman hit it. Grabowski hit 29, and I can't remember what MacArthur had. I know the season you're talking about.
Okay.
And they missed the playoffs.
Well, duh. Of course.
Probably
they
throw
did.
that out there. Yeah, best second line in hockey, and they missed the playoffs.
I got it for you guys.
All right.
In 2010, 2011,
yes,
Kuhlman had 30 goals. Grabowski had 29. MacArthur had 21.
Oh.
21. I mean, but MacArthur was still an awesome story because they got him for $1.1 million because he went to salary arbitration with the Thrashers, and the Thrashers said, we don't want you. Never mind. Why do I remember that?
I'm glad you remember that.
That's so stupid.
Who led the team in goals that season? And points.
It wasn't... it would have been Philip J. Kessel.
Exactly.
The Stanley Cup champion.
How many goals did he have that year?
32.
Wow, so they were 1 goal off.
Wow.
If Grabowski hit 1 more, shoot. Very close.
What dark, awful years those were. Like, when I look at it now.
And that wasn't one of the darker ones.
No, that was one of the brighter spots. Like, everybody kind of outplayed themselves. I look back even to 2 seasons ago, and we really didn't have, as Leaf fans, a perspective on what it was like to have young and incredibly talented players in the lineup. Or not even young, just incredibly talented players in the lineup. It has been 10 years since Matt Sundin called it a career here. And
oh my God.
And that was truly the last
Almost.
What, 2006 that he retired here?
2007-8, I think.
But that was Vancouver, was it not?
Oh shoot, you might be right. Okay, well
I don't know. Anyway.
Close.
It's been about 10 years.
Yeah.
And Matt's, you have to remember, was so good that he made Alexei Ponikarovsky and Nick Antropov score 20 goals each. Jonas Högland scored 20 goals. Like, crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not... like, we don't know what it's like to have multiples. Like, Chicago, Boston. These teams, LA. You guys know what it's like to have... not generational talent, but literally a hair below. Like, if you want to call generational talent Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, that's generational talent. But
well, don't disregard Kopitar and Kane.
I don't. You're right.
Taves and Kane.
Taves. Well, Kopitar too.
Wait, are you guys talking about the Kings and Blackhawks?
Yeah,
or
Kings, Blackhawks, Bruins.
Oh, okay, I'm
Kings and
sorry.
Blackhawks.
You know, we don't know what it's like to have guys like, or like a Doughty. You know, a guy on that level, or who projects to be on that level. We don't know what that's like, and it's so funny this year because you kind of go, oh, this is why it was so much fun for them. It's been miserable.
And this rebuild has been so different too, because I wrote another trade article just purely out of spite yesterday, because someone in the comments was like, what are you going to write about next, Bearsin? And I'm like, that's a great idea. So I spent the rest of my day on it. I spent the rest of my day on a spiteful quest against a Facebook comment.
What percentage of your life is done out of spite?
Like, most of it.
Well,
all of it. I mean, I talk about the Leafs, so there's that.
This is the generation reaction, I would call us. Like,
yes.
just it's a bunch of reactionary crap online. That's where we live, and that's where it all happens. Now,
but sorry, the point I was getting to was there was a trade in there where the Leafs traded Lee Stempniak because they were in the middle of one of their sort of rebuilds. And in exchange for Lee Stempniak, they got a 4th, a 7th, and a guy who didn't even play that year. That was it. That was their big haul.
I remember the Toronto Sun headline that day being, "Oh no, not Stempy," being very sarcastic. Because we had traded. Who did we trade for Lee Stempniak, Steve?
Carlo Koliakovo and Alex Steen. He was one of the few guys over the last few years who was not actually terrible.
Lee Stempniak?
Yeah.
He's still playing.
He's still playing, and he's still contributing. He wasn't terrible. It was the cost.
Yeah.
David Clarkson would have been, I think, revered in the city were he not making almost $6 million.
Yeah, if you get David Clarkson at 2.5.
That's a fan favorite. That's a fan favorite right there.
And David Clarkson with a healthy back.
Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel would have been beloved here were it not the whole 2 firsts and a second.
Yeah, because he wasn't Tyler Seguin and Dougie Hamilton combined, and that's the only reason that they didn't like him. And it's a shame.
And so good, best player they've had, other than Sundin, for a very
last 20 years.
long time.
Last 20 years, for sure.
100%.
But now we've got Matthews, Nylander, Marner, and you know what? Connor Brown, dude. Connor Brown's going to take some time.
Oh yeah, that's no secret. That's
Is it not?
I knew
don't
he
think
would come around.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that still want to discount him. And from the second he started playing this year.
You know why, Adam? For the exact same reason I just mentioned. So many people were like, Connor Brown's going to be great, that some people started to overrate him, which caused a lot of pushback and people saying, no, he just stinks. He's a depth guy. No, he's something. I don't think he's a depth guy. I don't think he's on Marner's level, but he's something in between.
Which we like.
You need those on your team.
Yeah.
Connor Brown is exactly the kind of guy the Leafs would give up and just let walk to Chicago or Pittsburgh, and he does great.
Yes.
Don't
do that.
Don't let it happen. Keep him.
He'll need a little bit of seasoning like they all do. But so here's the prevailing thought. Someone tweeted this.
Seasoning? I like
seasoning. That. A little just a little maturation.
Something. Okay.
But I think he'll score 20 goals several times in his career.
Yep.
I can see that for him.
Yeah. I won't contest that.
Especially in today's NHL, where scoring 20 goals is quite the accomplishment. Now,
Yeah, you never know.
something I want to talk about with the Leafs game last night in Jersey. First off, Jersey looked terrible, with the exception of Corey Schneider.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's just such a boring game before Matthews kicked things off.
I am surprised New Jersey has fans, only because, and it's not because they haven't won, and it's not because they haven't had incredible players. They have for 25 years played the most boring style of hockey. I remember when the Leafs played them and got killed by them in the playoffs.
Oh.
But oh my God, it was boring.
I'll still never forgive them for correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Leafs were playing them in a Game 7 one year. Leafs scored the first goal of the game, 1-0. They lost 6-1. And I think, if I remember correctly, they set a record for the fewest amount of shots in a playoff game with 6.
Didn't they have 2 in the second period or 3 in the second period?
It's something
It was
stupid.
embarrassing.
Just so stupid. I mean, if they had 2 or 3 in the second period and they had 6 all game, that would have been their highest period for shots. It's just brutal. Still never forgive them for that.
So...
And you got to remember they're without Taylor Hall.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, and there was another injury too, another key injury, and I can't remember who it was.
Well, Camilleri, and then he came back and lit the Leafs up for 4 points.
Crazy.
I can't remember the others.
Zajac, I thought when I saw him playing, I was like, oh yeah, remember when Lou Lamoriello got here and everybody thought Leafs are going to get Zajac?
Jesse, you remember?
I remember. Oh, gross. But and nothing against Travis Zajac, but nobody wants that contract.
There's another guy. I'll take him. Wait, how much does he cost? Nah, never mind.
With the way the game played out last night, to me, and this is something that we've talked about many times before, and it goes in with the rumors that we're hearing right now about the Toronto Maple Leafs. To me, what we're seeing is a team that just is a tire fire on defense.
Well, help me out. What are the rumors with the Leafs? Because I've heard a couple things.
The rumor is that Peter Holland is on the trade block, which we'll get to.
Yes.
And the other rumor is the Leafs would, and these are not inclusive. These are not Peter Holland for this.
Okay.
The Leafs want a shutdown defenseman.
What is that?
Okay, so a shutdown defenseman to me is someone who is actually able to break up plays. Like if you were to look at shot suppression, I think that would be your best case scenario. Who's at the top of shot suppression? Who has the fewest shots against when they're on the ice? And that it has to be significant ice time. I'm not talking about, hey, you played 5 minutes, so you didn't have any shots. I'm talking about you played 15 minutes and they couldn't get past you in the neutral zone or 20 minutes for a defenseman.
Isn't that what Roman Polak is supposed to be? That, to me, that description
but
is
Roman
what
Polak,
I think a lot of people think he is.
But he's not. And we know he's not. We've said he's not.
No. Now,
And Hunwick's not.
No, certainly not. I said something in my video today that I thought was fair because we've been dumping on Roman Polak all season. We've been dumping on Matt Hunwick all season. But okay, let's say Babcock just goes, no, and for 10 straight games, healthy scratches, both of them, and the Leafs go with a Martin Marincin, Frank Corrado third pairing. Is that the difference between giving up a 3-0 lead and not?
No.
No. Like, this team's got work to do. Like, they need an addition. They got to grow as well. They're going to grow. They're young. But the personnel's not good enough. It's not good enough. Even the spares.
No, they're not. And that's the thing is that, like, and that was what, that's what struck me. And it's funny because I'm going to tell this story. I hope this person doesn't mind. So Wendell Clark came into Breakfast Television.
Okay.
And one of the things that...
This person.
I hope Wendell doesn't mind.
My boy Wendy. Wendell.
Dubs?
Dubs. First off, he's the man. Second, he was there promoting his book, and
What's his book?
he's got a new book out about it's.
I meant the title.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve.
You're the worst.
I don't know, Steve. I don't
What's
even know.
the matter with
I
you?
interviewed Gretzky, and I don't know his book's title.
99 stories about the
I got
game,
99
believe.
stories, and
my memorable interview with Adam Wilde isn't one.
yeah, listen. Does Wayne Gretzky remember my name? No.
No.
That I don't know the exact name of his book, but I know that Wendell Clark
you
and
got
Wayne
him warm.
Gretzky have both released books.
You got him warm, though.
So Wendell,
the name?
I did get him warm, right? He'd probably tell me about the China Club. Now, Wendell Clark said, what I see, because we were just talking off camera, he said, what I see is people are expecting, because the young players have come in and they've been so good, that the veterans are somehow going to raise their game. And he said, what I see is the veterans have always been this, and this is what the veterans are.
Yeah.
He said, so you can't really expect them to be any better than what they are. He's like, they are what they are. They've shown you what they are. These kids have come in and gone, we're just a level above even these veterans who've been in the league for 6 or 7 years. And that's what I think we have on defense. It was kind of like, all right, we're going to throw this out there. We know it's going to be sort of bad, but I don't know even if Leafs management thought it would be this bad. And there's only so much a system can do. I just don't think they have the talent, and I think they know that.
Well, okay, what do they got? They got Morgan Riley, who all his mistakes, I'm like, okay, you were at least with Babcock last year. You should know better.
Yep.
Jake Gardiner, I'm like, okay, whenever you make a mistake, you were with Babcock last year. You should know better. Then after that, you got Connor Carrick, who only got a taste at the NHL level. He's being coached by Sheldon Keefe. But that was in the playoffs, too. So that's, I mean, you just do what you got to do in order to win.
Honestly, I think he's been pretty good.
But he hasn't been great. You know what I mean? He's been good.
But I don't think he's capable of great.
I'm not criticizing him.
No.
You got Nikita Zaitsev, who's brand spanking new.
And still looks very good.
Yeah. You got Martin Marincin, who I guess is just not that good. You got Frank Corrado, who is apparently not that good, at least according to Leafs management.
We don't know.
Yeah. You got Roman Polak, who is Roman Polak. Anyone who expected anything other than Roman Polak is just silly. And Matt Hunwick, and if you expected him to be anything other than Matt Hunwick,
Folly.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
So, who exactly did we expect to be great? I thought Riley would be better, for sure. I hoped Carrick would be better, but like, he's going to get better. He's going to get there. And
he's 25 games into his basically into his career as a Leaf, right?
And Gardner, for as many times as I want to slap him in the face with a fish, has actually been playing all right recently. So I think it's going to come. I have faith in Riley. He's obviously just a firecracker offensively.
It's nice to see him open up his game too. There's been a lot more.
You got him locked up long term. Let him play on the power play.
Yeah.
Let him do it. It drives me nuts. Sorry, what you had a point there?
Oh, it's just nice to see him. He does do the odd man rush, and every game you see him, which you didn't see him do as much last year, because he just didn't have the forwards to do it.
I think 3-on-3 overtime reveals a lot.
Wow!
And last night I was just like, oh, that's a different player. That's a player on another level. So that, while I've been concerned about his play recently, I'm like, oh, okay. That's why you give him the benefit of the doubt. That's why he's different.
I also think can I just interject here for a second? I think he's trying to do too much.
You think so?
I think he's trying to be the offensive stud, and I think he's also trying to, it doesn't matter who they seem to pair him with, and it's mostly Nikita Zaitsev. Nikita Zaitsev's...
And good.
Yeah, good.
Let them
play.
Mess up. But let them screw up. Let them grow.
But that's the thing. They are going to mess up. They are going to screw up. Yeah. Both of them are under the age of 25. Nikita Zaitsev has played 20 games in the NHL. It's different. And what I feel like is Morgan Riley is trying to overcompensate in certain areas because the trust isn't necessarily there yet. And that's not a strike against anyone. That's just hey, we've only worked together for a month and a half or 2 months now, I guess. So we're just getting to know each other. It takes a long time to develop these relationships, more than people think.
You think it's in their head?
Absolutely.
It's got to be. It's, oh, here we go again. And I think the awful thing about the Jets game, the 4-0 collapse, wasn't just that it happened. It was the third damn game of the season.
Yeah.
It's the third game of the season. The next week, or it might have even been the next game. I can't remember.
Same thing happened.
The Blackhawks, and it ruined my night.
Yes, it did. Your phone was tossed.
Yes. And then again, 3 times in 20 games. That's 3 extra wins, 3 extra points in the standings. Mm-hmm. They should have.
Yes.
They should have 23 points right now.
Yep.
They have 22.
And that would be far...
Or, sorry, 20.
They would be far ahead of 11th place in the conference at that point.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out on this one. I think there are moves that are big moves, right? And we expect those with trades. Big moves where, tons of assets go one way, big player comes back. In this particular case, if I'm the Toronto Maple Leafs, I am not doing that.
Okay.
I don't need to do that.
No, I don't think you do either.
You have Jake Gardiner, Morgan Riley, Nikita Zaitsev, who are all great young defensemen who are doing relatively well. I think what they need is an injection of just confidence in knowing that there's someone else there. Because, like I said, Connor Carrick, you've got Martin Marincin, you've got Matt Hunwick, you've got Roman Polak. Those guys, to me, honestly, are just not on the level of the other three. And I don't think I'm being unfair in saying that.
No.
And I feel like
Lumping
they need
in Connor Carrick with Hunwick. I don't know. Sorry, what?
Well, no. Again, yeah. I mean, there's a varying level there too. But I feel like you need a calming presence, someone who is there, who adds, who isn't going to be spectacular, but a name that keeps coming to mind. Not because he's the right fit or ever would have been the right fit, but a guy that plays like him is Stuart Percy. And the reason that I bring Stuart Percy's name up is because now, and I'm not saying Stuart Percy's the guy. What I'm saying is when we watch Stuart Percy in the AHL, every time you and I went to a game, you said what to me about Stuart Percy?
His best games are the ones where you don't recognize him.
Why do you never recognize him?
Notice him.
Why don't you notice him?
Because he's just steady. He's steady, Freddy.
Steady.
That's what I want out of a bottom pairing defenseman. I wanted them to give him another shot. And of course, I thought the Penguins were the perfect fit for him, and then he's battling injuries again. Stuart Percy is prone to traumatic blows to the head. That has always been his.
It's like Carlo Koliakovo was just prone to falling apart at the right at the moment he was going to break it in the NHL.
Who was the player? It was Dean McCammond. Yeah. Do you think you're injury prone? No, I think I'm prone to traumatic blows to the head. That was Stuart Percy. Damn, you're right though. That would be in the Hunwick slot,
and
or just bottom. Forget. I keep saying Hunwick.
Bottom
Hunwick
pair
happens to be the guy playing bottom pair left D. God, I would love Stuart Percy right there, right in that spot.
I'm not even saying Stuart Percy, but I'm saying a defenseman because there's going to be a bunch of people after me going, "You Stuart Percy, whatever."
What are they saying?
That exactly what I just. You're wrong. Fine. My point is, I want a defenseman who you don't notice. My biggest problem when I watch the Toronto Maple Leafs is I go, damn it, Jake. Damn it, Connor.
Yeah.
Damn it. Like, it's like you're going like, because Jake Gardner will, for some reason, he has this thing where he loves to throw it in front of the net at least once a game.
Well,
no idea why, but that's what he does.
You notice Shea Weber. You notice PK Subban. You notice Erik Karlsson. So,
for good reasons.
For good reasons, right?
I want a boring,
but sometimes bad.
I want a boring ass steady defenseman.
Who's a boring ass steady?
I don't.
defenseman?
You know what? That's.
I think those are hard to find.
I think they are too. I would just like to find one, even if it's a mental thing. Even if it is someone who just instills some confidence in those younger guys, because you're going to have a guy who's got a little bit of skill, who can. Because you need it. You need a guy who's got a little bit of skill to say to the other guys, "Hey guys, it's all good. You're doing fine. We'll work through this and we'll keep going." Morgan Riley's the leader on the back end. He's a young guy. Sometimes it is a mental thing, and I think you touched on a really good point there. I feel like there is a need for a 3-4 defenseman, second pairing defenseman who's boring as hell, who the average fan, the average fan who loves their superstars and really doesn't notice anybody else is not going to notice. We just need somebody who can suppress some shots and calm the nerves.
Yeah, there's got to be
a move, and I also think
I always look through the system. I look through the Leafs organization, and I go, who do they got? Who am I excited about? I'm getting way too excited about Andrew Nielsen. Do you
think he's the guy?
He looks real good, man.
So if that's the guy, then they don't need to make a deal.
See, okay, his offense is there. His offense is there and it's developing, and if that continues, wicked. But again, what do they need? They need the big, tough meanie. He's big.
I don't know if they need a big, tough meanie, do they? Do you think?
No, but the calming presence, love it or hate it, is always going to be a big, tough meanie. That's why I brought up Roman Polak right away. Calming presence, big, tough meanie. Put the big tough meanie back there.
Okay, fair enough. I guess. Like I hear what comes to mind, and there's going to be a lot of people who hate this and disagree with this. But Adam Foote to the Colorado Avalanche, boring, and potentially maybe a little overrated too.
Ken Danico,
great. Love that one. That's a great one.
Yeah. Anybody
that is just I guess big and mean. But I wasn't even thinking that. I just think it's like structurally sound. Does that make sense?
Travis Dermott, by the way, coming down the line. Some people argue he's the Leafs' top defensive prospect. 5'11", 215 pounds apparently, and that kid's 19. And I want to look at Nielsen.
Is he playing in the A this year, or is he playing in the O?
I think he was battling an injury. I can't remember if he's back yet. Nielsen, 6'3", 220. Could be a big, tough meanie. And 15 games, 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points.
You know what else?
That is a just-turned 20-year-old defenseman in his rookie season in the AHL.
Yep.
I am sorry if I'm a little excited about that.
That's cool. And for especially because people look at the Leafs prospect system and go, they have no defensive prospects, which is wrong.
Well, they got at least 2. And I mean, who knows? Maybe there's something there with Valiev. Could be.
I just think if you have the opportunity to have a guy like Connor Carrick on the third pairing with anybody, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for this particular team. I'm not saying like we're not going to turn into the LA Kings defense right away or anything like that, but it's for this defense. If we could just have that one piece, be it from the AHL in an Andrew Nielsen or some sort of trade where it's not a huge deal, but the Leafs get some salary. We probably have to take on some salary if we make a deal like that.
Jesse, isn't this great? Isn't this a complete 180 from how we used to talk about the team?
Yeah.
Don't we? Okay, so we still sound frustrated, right?
Because we have all this potential and it's not here yet, but it's coming.
It's coming, and it's also like it's so close. Mm-hmm. We're putting tweaks on it. Look, I'm not saying the Leafs are a move or two away from being a cup contender, but they're a cup contender. A cup contender. A cup contender. The Leafs? What's the matter with you? I'm just saying, there's a little tweak here
Sparkles.
and there. Little sparkles. A little bit of that hockey magic. Mm-hmm. They're not far away. They're not. It's already not absurd to put them in the playoff conversation. A little move or two.
Jesse,
look. No, in the conversation.
They're
Okay.
a bubble team. I think they're a bubble team.
We need to not forget that they finished last.
You know what though? Have they looked great so far?
Yeah.
You think so?
Flashes.
They look good.
Flashes.
They're 8
Not
and
great.
4.
Yeah,
They're 8
good.
and 4.
Yeah.
They're on pace for 82 points. That's a 14-point improvement already. Mm-hmm. If they maintain that pace, they could drop. Mm-hmm. I bloody hope not. But at this point, it'd be a disappointment if they did. We've seen what they can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I looked at the overall NHL standings, which I know mean objectively nothing. But we said at the beginning of the year, if the Leafs finish 20th, that's a 10-team difference, right? They're in 22nd right now.
We should be on top of the world.
Yeah,
Finish 20th.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot, and we have to look at it like we looked at last year. Is what in context of where we are, right? Context of where the team is. Not bad. Yeah. Not bad. And nothing's going to be good until you win the Stanley Cup. But not freaking bad, guys.
Some people have been tweeting me about tanking. Sell off who? Sell who?
Who has tweeted you about tanking?
Well, no.
Tanking?
Like if they start losing, they should just hope for Nolan Patrick again. No, look, if you win the lottery, great. If you miss the playoffs and win the lottery, great. But who are you going to sell off, first of all? What are you going to get? And also, the young guys are here. Remember last year at the very end of the season? Mm-hmm. Even though you wanted the first overall pick, you wanted Nylander to score.
Yeah.
You wanted Connor Carrick to do all right. You wanted Garrett Sparks to get some wins. You wanted Soshnikov, Kapanen, all those guys.
I don't mind guys like JVR and Bozak being in the lineup too, and Kadri. Because you need, as I said on defense, you need those stabilizing presences from guys who have been there, guys who are higher skilled. JVR, Kadri, especially, and nothing against Bozak either. He is a skilled NHL centerman. He is a top 6 guy for sure.
I don't mind him on this team.
I don't either. I think it's just here's the thing with that is you need those presences there to help the younger guys through because Edmonton didn't have that. And look what happened to them, right? You don't want to just sell the whole thing. You got to make the tweaks when they're right. I just think you're right. Both of you are right in terms of
we're close, man.
We're close.
There's something.
We're still a couple years away.
I think
from what?
From serious contention.
I can see
but
that.
You can make the playoffs without being a serious contender.
Yeah, but
there was a
that's
first round series between Calgary and Vancouver a couple years ago.
That's not the goal.
Neither of those teams was going anywhere.
But this year it could be.
And then where's Vancouver now?
Well, it's a little different. No, you certainly don't want to be them.
Yeah. And is your goal to win the Stanley Cup? Of course. But if you're a team like this and you're a bubble playoff team this year, that's good. Next year, a little bit more. But you're right. I think they are a couple years away from being like the Leafs will win the cup this year if they keep playing like this, right? And I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Here's what I'm talking about, Jesse. It's not buying. I don't want the Leafs to buy. I want them to grow, but change. It's hockey trades. I'm looking at hockey trades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about you trade a prospect for a vet necessarily or a picks for a vet. I'm talking about hockey trades, a Peter Holland for a defenseman if you can pull it off, that help the team.
Which
hey, if you can
can't.
pull that off,
You can't.
awesome.
You can't.
Why not Peter Holland and Frank Corrado for someone?
To Vancouver for Gustafsson.
Which Gustafsson?
By the way, trading Peter Holland now when he's at literally the lowest possible value you could have him at, like they're not going to trade Peter Holland. They won't.
It's going to be great when they do, and Levo's like, I'm healed.
So when we come back, we got to talk a little bit about Vegas, not Las Vegas.
Vegas.
Because they don't like being called Las Vegas anymore. They're just Vegas, okay?
Oh.
Okay, just get it right.
Shut up.
We'll talk about that next on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. So before we get into not Las Vegas, I'm just going to start calling them not Las Vegas. The city formerly known as Las Vegas.
NLV.
Vegas. Jesse, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Leafs here.
2 quick things.
Okay.
The Leafs were outshot 6-0, or had 6 shots May 8th, 2000, but the count was a little off because New Jersey skimmed on the shot count. So it might have been like 12 or 16 shots.
New Jersey skimmed on the shot count?
Yeah, so
this is why you can't trust the numbers coming out of the NHL.
Anyways, they lost 3-0
random.
that game. Playoff, second round.
That's
And
gross.
I thought it was 6-1, so that might have been a different year.
Yeah, it was 3-0, 6 shots.
Okay.
And
They did lose 6-1 in Game 7 one year, but it wasn't that one, obviously.
Wendell's book is Bleeding Blue, giving my all for the game.
What a producer.
There you go.
You're a great producer there,
it.
Jesse.
Wendell Clarkman.
Wendell Clark.
I loved. You know what? Honestly, he's. If you ever get the chance to meet him, he's awesome. Just a great dude. Just a dude.
He was super nice to me when I first met him. I met him at a Rick Vive golf tournament when I was with Leafs TV.
Oh.
And I go, so Mr. Clark, I'm just learning how to golf. Do you have any advice for me? And he goes, yeah, quit. He just goes, yeah, you need to practice too much, and I don't think you can afford it, so quit. I was just like, wow. And I can't find the video anywhere.
Savagery.
What?
Oh yeah, Wendell Clark just completely ruined me.
That's a good joke.
Well, he was right though. I couldn't. Right then and there, I was like, "Oh, okay." And I to this day have played golf like maybe 4 or 5 times since then, only because like friends made me. I would never spend my day golfing.
No, me neither.
I like drinking in a golf cart. I'm good at that.
There are. It's not that I don't like or dislike golf. It's just there's so many other things I could do.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Do I like golf more than doing my taxes? Yes.
A lot more.
Would I prefer to do something else? For sure.
Absolutely. And there isn't a day around in the calendar now where I'm bored enough that I could go, today's a golf day.
Like,
That's
you know what?
That's not a hate on golf. It's just, it's not high on my priority list.
Hey, man, do you want to just totally ditch the entire day? Yeah, totally. You want to do something that takes forever? Yeah, absolutely. Let's go golfing.
And that you are guaranteed to be more angry leaving than you were starting.
Every single time. You know what? The first 9 is fine.
Yeah,
if golf
the back
is only 9
nine's
holes,
brutal.
is great.
You just played 9 holes.
Which, you know what? I think I'm going to, next time I go golfing, I'm doing 9 holes.
That's what I'm doing.
Because I'm like, I got to do that again.
A question.
Now, like, I got heat stroke. I'm hungover from the drunk I got on the front 9. Okay, sorry. Anyway, yes, just
What's worse, the CFL or playing golf?
Oh, baby. Now, are we talking about like just watching the CFL live?
Yeah, like CFL game in Toronto or
On your
Saskatchewan.
television.
On your television.
Watching the Argos versus the Ottawa Red Blacks on your television.
You know what?
Or playing golf.
I would rather
Both
go
are 3 hours.
I'd rather go golfing because at least I know I could hang out with you guys.
yeah, there you go.
Because neither of you are coming over to watch CFL at my house. So at least I know.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
I've never been golfing and had someone from Hamilton scream at me. Oski wee wee! Oski wawa! Tigers eat a rock! Okay, sir, that was like a second down that you're screaming that at me. Can you chill a little bit?
Oh my
It's okay. I'm sure he's only going to do that once a quarter. Oski wee Oski-Wawa! It's never someone with like a pleasant melodic voice. It's never Michael Bublé going, Oski-Wee-Wee. No, it's always
the scratchiest voice in the stadium.
Oski-Wee-Wee! Why is that your thing?
I wonder where that came from. I'd like to know that. I'm sure somebody knows. Somebody listening to the show.
By the way,
don't.
Here, let's just save a bunch of people time. We ask a lot of questions on this show rhetorically. Don't look that up. No. Well, actually, Oski-Wee-Wee come. No. I'm sorry. I made you think that I care. I don't.
Wow.
I'm asking rhetorically.
Steve Dangle does not want your dumb tweets, everyone.
No. I don't want you to spend time in the dumb tweet. I'm trying to be your friend. I'm trying to be friendly. I'm asking rhetorically. I don't care.
Did Montreal steal the Leafs jersey?
Oh, okay. Well, oh my God! Here's the thing. So last episode we talked about the 1909 Montreal jersey that looks blue and white. It has a big C on it for Canada. No, it doesn't. For Canadien.
And I could have swore we said the Leafs new Centennial jersey is a ripoff of that.
Yeah, we did.
Is that not what we said?
But what I said was no, that Montreal is clearly ripping off the Leafs. Clearly, very clearly. And we were kidding, but we did get a Reddit post saying.
And how long was the Reddit post?
You guys, I'm sorry, you're wrong about the Montreal thing. It's like, yeah, I was kidding. Like, it's just funny to say that Montreal ripped off Toronto, and I know that Montreal never ripped off Toronto and has been a franchise longer and won more Stanley Cups. I mean, I know. And believe me, I'm upset about it, okay? I want Toronto to have 27 freaking cups.
Actually, did you know that in 1909, while having that blue and white jersey, the Habs chant every time they score a goal was Oski-Wee-Wee!
No, en français.
Oski-Wee-Wee!
Le Oski-Wee-Wee.
Oski-Wee-Wee! Oski Patrick Waugh! No, it wasn't actually that great. I don't care.
No, it's...
I don't care.
Steve's being mean today.
I am saving your time.
Golf? Tweets? Montreal Canadiens?
You guys, with the CFL, how about that?
Well,
Hamilton.
Jesse,
I asked the question.
it was a good question.
I just asked.
Rhetorically?
Listen,
No.
I don't want to...
What were we talking about before I started screaming?
I think sometimes when we're being sarcastic, and I was warned this by consultants years ago. They're like, if you are too sarcastic on the air, people aren't going to understand sometimes, right? And because there are some times where people, honestly, if you're tuned out and you're like doing your chores or whatever, and then you hear someone being sarcastic, you can't, what the hell was that? You can't really tell out of context whether or not they're being truthful or not.
I guess that's true.
And sometimes,
and I do tell people, tell me when I'm wrong.
Sometimes and I would listen. I'd rather hear from you if I'm wrong than not hear from you at all. I would much rather hear that. And
That's very true.
I can understand how that was taken the wrong way. I totally get it because I have gotten on. Like Twitter, like tweeted people and be like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "It's sarcasm." I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh.
And it's happened to me at KISS. It's happened to me at BT. Like it's one of those things that like I get it. I totally get it. If we're being sarcastic and someone tweets us because of that, I get that.
I just realized you talked about Wendell Clark. I spoke about golf. That somehow went to the CFL. Then I screamed about Hamilton. And then what happened after that?
I don't know.
So Las Vegas.
No, Steve.
No?
Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, hey, when you book a flight to New York, what do you say? You say, I bought a flight to New York. When you book a flight to Vegas, you say, I'm going to Vegas. Thank you, every tweet I've received in the last 48 hours. That's what people have been saying.
The best tweet that Jesse sent us was, I can't wait for the Vegas Black Knights to face the Angeles Kings.
Yeah. I said that too.
LeBron, that was good.
Yeah, my thing was, I can't wait for the Stanley Cup final between the Jose Sharks and the York Rangers.
And by the way,
Actually, you never call it Jose. I don't care.
and by the way, New York is actually Toronto's original name. You can't have it. So if you're going to go York without the new, New York's fine, but York?
Why did we change?
I don't know. I don't know why would Toronto change names. I don't know. I'm just trying to take something away from New York, which used to be New Amsterdam, by the way.
Let me throw this out. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Actually, I care. You can tweet me that answer because I
Great.
care about that.
Great.
That's interesting to me. So let's talk about Vegas. Let's talk about the Golden Knights. Thoughts on the names?
You know what? It's a sparkly, ridiculous, tacky name. It's perfect for Vegas. It's absolutely perfect.
That's a good point. I would have called them the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack.
Yeah, but like Sinatra and Davis
Oh.
Jr. and something like that. To me, the problem with the name, yes, it's sparkly and ridiculous. The problem with the name is that it doesn't represent anything about Las Vegas. And people are like,
golden.
well, there's a military parachute squad that, the owner was associated with. And I get that. And you know what? Same thing. The Leafs were named because of that. I mean, Conn Smythe named the Leafs because there was a regiment in the First World War that was a Canadian regiment. So I understand that.
He's naming the team what he wants to call it. It's like if I were to be like, I am owning the new Toronto NHL team and it's the Toronto Pikachus. Because I grew up really liking Pokemon. The Toronto Blastoises.
You would be well within your rights to do that as an owner. You can do that. I just
Why
think,
not? It's my team.
I guess I just like the idea of the team, and maybe call me weird about this because my own team isn't technically this, but I like the team being about the city a little bit more. I just like the idea that the name would have, although, I mean, you look at a team like the Blackhawks, what does that have to do with Chicago, right? What does the Rangers have to do with New York?
Or like when the team keeps the name. The Atlanta Flames, and now they're the Calgary Flames.
Oil.
Yeah, but that's you're shoehorning that. They weren't named that because of the oil. They were already called that.
Yeah, okay. You're right.
You know what I
guess
mean?
that's what, if I were naming a team now, in the context of now, and I were the Vegas owner, I would want the team to be a little bit more reflective of the city.
The slot machines.
They couldn't go like the Vegas Blackjacks or something like that. They
Aces.
couldn't do it. They couldn't do that.
Why can't you do aces?
They didn't want to be associated with gambling.
Flying
There it
aces,
is.
eh?
It wasn't going to happen at all. The NHL wasn't going to allow that, and the team didn't want it.
The Las Vegas strips.
the
See,
Las
that could be about a road.
Vegas deserts. The Las Vegas
Desert Storm.
uninhabitables. The Las
All right,
Vegas drought.
By the way, was that not the single worst
Oh
team
my
announcement
God.
name ever? Like,
So we're going to play this video.
Okay, so
wait, the
I
video
haven't
doesn't
seen this yet. How bad was it?
Jesse,
It was awful.
Okay.
in a word,
Bettman got up there and everybody booed him, of course. And
Good.
then they said, okay.
he had
we're
good
gonna-
humor about it. He said, "You're not an NHL season or city until you boo me."
Yeah. And then, at
for
one
him, good
point,
for
he
him.
heckled back and he's like, "Don't make me take your team away."
That's
I forget what
Savage
they yelled
Bettman.
at him. When the video wasn't working, there was like 10-minute delay. Somebody started booing and cheering at Bettman, and then he's like, "Don't make me take your team away."
That's
And I
funny.
was like, "That's good."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'll give it to
Anyways,
him.
before the reveal, they're supposed to run this video about how they came up with the name, and then the video didn't work. So everybody sat there awkwardly.
Why does that
killing
always
time.
happen? Have you ever tried to give a PowerPoint presentation? Every PowerPoint presentation I ever spent 16 effing hours on doesn't work. Why does we are this far? It is 2016, gentlemen, almost 2017. Why can we still not get video projection systems to work off of our computers?
It's not a good sign, is it?
It's not. How do we not have this technology
You're in
figured out?
Vegas. Like there have to be like production companies that would gladly do your show
Yes,
for a
you're
nominal
that,
fee.
and you're that close to Los Angeles, the center of video production in the world. I'm sure you could have brought someone in. Now, I'm not blaming the company. I'm just saying, why, with tech, are we not there yet, where we can reliably put a video on a screen and have it work?
And when I ask how could a brand new NHL team not get this down, I look at NHL.com and go,
True.
I see.
Oh yeah, and then when they were counting down, they were like, "Okay, we're just gonna reveal it now." And then they started counting 5, 4, and then the numbers showed up on the screen like after a second. So he was like at 4, and the numbers just showed up at 5. He's like 1, and then the screen's like 2. What? It was a mess.
See, there are certain things.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, it
He
was
wanted that
awful.
to be like Apple event good.
Yeah.
You should be able to walk up there in like a black turtleneck and jeans and be like, we wanted to do something different. A lot of hockey teams are where they have ice. Not our hockey team. It's going to be in a desert, completely uninhabitable. But for some reason, there's a giant city here. We just kind of plopped it down. We call it the Golden Knights.
Where's Levi when you need him?
We need Levi.
Levi Maestro could have sold that for sure.
It's a hockey team with a logo that
Doesn't make
most
sense.
college teams seem to have.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
deal with that? Someone sent me a picture of that logo and Magneto, and they're like, someone's got to tell Magneto he's the new mascot. Has
Also,
it mentioned
it's
that?
not a knight. It's a Spartan head.
Yeah,
It's not a knight at all.
just like senators.
Yeah.
is a centurion, not a senator. Senators are not fighters; they're politicians.
It's funny.
Centurions are the guys that go to.
It's funny though. Part of me was like, "Hey, yeah, you're right," and the other part of me was like, "Whatever, nerd." Who cares? It's cool, and the hole is a V. That's clever. I didn't even notice that right away.
You know, there's a lot of lakes in Los Angeles. There's a lot of jazz in Utah. We don't even get this right.
There's a lot of jazz in Utah.
If you asked me to associate any city in the United States with jazz, Utah would probably come up last.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
that's actually correct or not.
I don't even think you could put Utah on that list.
No.
I think that they would
The
find that
Utah
offensive.
Bunch of Wives.
Oh.
Not as appealing of a name. What else is famous in Utah? What else is famous in Utah? You can't call them the Bunch of Wives. You can't call them the Karl Malones. Because I
They
remember
sure
Karl
call them the
Malone.
Karl Malones or the John Stockton's shorts.
The Olympics were here once.
Mountains on their logo and it says jazz. What are you doing?
By the way, I don't even
The
think
Buffalo Sabres. There's no swords.
Utah is so
They gave up on
conservative.
the whole sword thing a long time ago.
Utah is so conservative that I don't even know if jazz music's passable there. It is a very conservative place. But the nicest human beings you'll ever meet are in Utah. I'm just saying. I've been to Utah and the nicest people. Literally the nicest people.
Sure.
I still think Bunch of Wives is a better. It's a good idea.
Isn't that where all the reality shows are?
In Utah?
And counting? Whatever and counting? 19
Yeah.
Kids and Counting and
There's
Sister
like-
Wives.
Sister Wives, I thought
Or
was.
do I just assume?
No, I say they're Mormon, but I think he's a sect of Mormon, but I'm not really sure. I
I
don't
don't know
watch
where
enough
they're
Sister
Don't
Wives
answer
to be
that.
honest.
Don't answer
They should
that.
have been the Colorado Nordiques. You know? It would have worked.
Yes.
Hey, what is a Nordique, by the way? Do we know? Nordic
A
person?
northern person.
Some-
Oh,
something
well,
French
that's
Canadian.
fair.
I literally made that up, Adam. I don't know.
It makes
I don't
sense.
know.
Can you look that up, Jesse? I would like
Is
to know.
that something we actually
can
need to
can we know what Nordique means? Because I've never known.
So, name, tacky. But whatever.
Jersey.
Logo, cool. Jersey, we don't know yet.
I think it's going to look a lot like the Team North America one.
If they make
they'll
it
change it after 2 years.
black, if they make it black, I think it'll be cool. But if they go with some weird, because isn't red one of their colors?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of yellow in there, so I'm afraid they might look like early 90s Pittsburgh Penguins.
Like, how could they not make their jersey gold? They're the
Yeah.
Golden Knights. But if they make it like black and gold,
I hope it's like a
But
real
they can't
gold
do
too.
that.
I hope it's a real, like a deep gold. Because like Penguins kind of flirt with gold a little bit, but it's mostly yellow because that's really their city colors: Steelers,
Oh, see,
Pirates,
now-
Penguins.
Now there's gonna be a fight.
But a real deep gold would be kind of cool for them because it's Vegas. You want it to be glittery, baby. Like Spirit Fingers. Let's do it.
Should there be sparkles on the jersey?
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Little sparkles?
It's got to be a little tacky. The logo should be made of rhinestone.
Then I'm okay with it.
Bedazzled jersey.
And Steve was right. Quebec Nordique is a northerner. There you go.
There you go.
Canucks, Canadians. We got some
Northern.
boring names up
Canadians
here.
are not Canadians though.
What are they?
They're Habitants. They're the original settlers of Quebec from France. So that's why it says CH. I know that part.
So I'm gonna go with Pikachu's. Would be like that's like a top half NHL name.
But they're also black and gold. Pittsburgh already has that market cornered.
So
You can't. You have
maybe you go
Pikachu's.
gold and black, and you look like early 2000s Gold Dust.
Or here's what's going to be fun. You ready for this?
His theme song should be their goal horn.
They should have they need to have a Survivor Series with the Preds, Sabres, Penguins, and Golden Knights.
There you go.
And you have to
And the
figure-
Bruins.
and you have to and the Bruins. and you have
Bruins
to figure
special
out
guest referee.
who you have to figure out who's playing.
That's the whole thing.
Just that's the
Make
whole-
them all wear their home jersey.
I don't know what's happening. Who do I pass to? Just a 5-way hockey game.
Like, I think their road jersey would look cool if they looked like the White Ranger from Power Rangers. because he had
Oh,
them.
yeah.
It was mostly white, but there was black and there was gold. Tommy. Wasn't that Tommy? Formerly the Green Ranger?
I thought Tommy was the Blue Ranger. Or is that Billy?
No, that's Billy.
Billy was my dude.
Jason is the Red Ranger.
Jason's Red Ranger.
Man, I'm
How do
all
you
over
remember
this.
that?
I'm all over this.
Who's the Pink Ranger?
Kimberly?
Yellow.
I want to say Tanya. Did it start with a T?
I don't even remember. I'm asking you.
I think it's Tanya.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
That might be second gen too. You never know. Hey, by the way,
And Zach was the Black Ranger.
Zach. All right, we've got to wrap it up on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. We just wasted an entire segment.
Look, I need to know if I was right.
Wow.
Can we find out?
What was the Yellow Ranger's name?
Yellow Ranger. Oh God. Okay. You gotta give me a
Quickly.
second.
All right, I'll get in our sponsor thing right now. This podcast is brought to you by Panago Pizza. It's what's on the inside that counts. Jesse?
Literally Google who was the Yellow Ranger.
Who was the Yellow Ranger?
I'm getting so upset.
This is important. We got to go to commercials here, quick.
Trini.
Oh, that's
Trini Kwan.
Trinity Kwan.
I was so close. I almost got them all. Whatever. Like Pokemon. Catch them all. Pokemon!
There's a reason we're not responding. So, Steven.
You think people are going to get mad at Bunch of Wives?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I hope everyone from Utah who's listening takes their many
I bet
wives.
there's people in Utah that...
some of my best friends have a bunch of wives. And sorry.
I definitely think someone's going to be upset by that. But
Oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't happen then.
for the purposes of...
You're right.
We're just gonna act like that doesn't happen in Utah.
We're just going to...
to be as sensitive as possible, it doesn't happen anymore.
That's not true.
I don't think it happens as much anymore. I think mainstream has moved away from that. I'm sure in the more
Be a lot of
conservative
Reddit
sites,
threads.
there's going to be so many Reddit threads.
What do you got for me, Adam?
What
are we doing?
I have every player who is draft exempt from every team.
And this is why I asked, so I can open my laptop.
Your lap.
Laptop!
Let's find out who's draft exempt and actually talk about a little bit about some hockey. I can't believe that.
What?
Normally, if anybody says something obscenely stupid, it's me. But that I'm not stupid. Obscenely like that was like wow, man.
What, the Bunch of Wives?
Yeah. I personally found that
Okay,
funny.
I got a bunch of cue cards.
Okay.
Here's a picture of New York. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. New York.
Hey, what are you nuts? Well, Philly too. But
That's really okay. Fine. Here's Portland.
Portland hipsters.
Okay. Here's Austin, Texas.
Hipsters. Steampunk hipsters.
Really?
Austin and Portland. Portland, Oregon.
I didn't know that.
Or Portland, Maine.
Atlanta.
Atlanta. CNN.
Oh, okay. Very interesting.
Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay. I was like, pardon?
Ludicrous.
Yes. Florida.
Republicans, Gators, and
Retired people.
Utah.
Mormons. And mountains.
Nope.
I mean, they did move there. That was the whole point of founding of the state of Utah. Anyway, good times. Good times. I can't wait for the Bud Actuallys on that one. They're going to be huge.
Here, let me... Toronto. A bunch of pricks who think center of the universe. Bunch of
By the way,
dicks.
since we're in the off-air portion, I
Hipsters.
want to point out that Mrs. Dangle posted one of the funniest things I've ever seen on Instagram, which was a comment about Steve, and someone's like, "Oh, I could watch a Dangle video, or I could rub sandpaper on my balls." And I commented back.
There was another one today that was... Okay, that's it. The next Dangle post I see, I'm going to start sending dick pics.
That's how you respond to that?
That's very... I'm kind of intrigued to see if he does it on account of it's just him. It's just his face.
That's such a positive thing. Your videos are so good that you give him an erection that he wants to send to everybody.
And he's willing to share
technically-
his most private things.
He didn't say that. He didn't say it would be an erect penis.
Well, though I'm just going to assume.
Okay, well,
Because nobody wants to see a soft dick. Let's be honest, too.
I'm not unless it's your doctor and there's something wrong.
They don't even want to see that.
No, they
They're
don't.
like,
They don't show up to work like,
Soft pee-pee.
can't wait.
they're like,
You know what's going to be great? My day today because of this.
Hold up. The point was, the best part about the sandpaper guy, the sandpaper comment was was the guy's playing golf in his picture. I'm like, I would rather rub sandpaper on myself than play golf. That is higher on my list.
And the new what part of Alberta is he from is how many of his children are in this profile picture.
Oh my God.
Everyone who hates me has kids.
Can't wait till you're a dad.
Me too.
Can't wait.
That'll be cool.
That'd be cool. No,
I'll be like, hey, little buddy, this is the team that's going to ruin your life.
And no, the comments will be great. Oh, that poor kid raised by that idiot. He has no class. So we've got the. I'm going to
have so many kids just to piss everyone off.
Oh yeah, you guys just need to procreate. A bunch of dangles running around.
Oh, it'll be great.
Amazing. So, do you mind if I go through this list with you and I want you to comment on it?
Yes. Well, I take it you've read it.
I have read
this.
list.
Okay. So, what is the context here?
Context here is that there are some players that have no movement clauses, and this is where you can't. These guys are draft exempt. Vegas cannot have these people. They must be protected.
Can't have them.
Now, there's a couple people who you're like, wait a second. Wait just a darn second. This person has a no trade clause this year. Now, Chris Johnson goes into it in the post, and he actually talks about the fact that, say, Bobby Ryan can be exposed to Vegas because it was right. The no movement clause is for the minors, and it gives him a modified no trade list according to a source, so he can be exposed. This is all outlined, and there's other people that
if they wanted to expose.
Yeah, and I don't think they probably will. But
this is going to get awkward, because I think there's going to be a few players who thought they were going to get protected,
and they're not.
Ooh, yeah.
And Antoine Vermette and Tuukka Rask have their no movement clauses running out June 15, 2017. The draft is on the 17th, so 2 days later.
God.
Yeah.
That's so silly.
Well,
it's 2 days.
Well, it's 2 days, but that's a contract, baby. That's how it works. Now,
I know.
I think too. What's really interesting about this for me is just what each team has to hang on to. Because sometimes you're going to look at certain teams, you're going to be like, oh boy, and other teams you're going to look at it and go, well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great that they have to hang on to those players. So first team, Bieksa, Getzlav, Kessler, Perry. I'm talking, of course, of the Anaheim, formerly Mighty Ducks.
That's rough because they got a lot of young guys. They're I think in a similar boat to Tampa, where they're almost guaranteed to lose not just someone real good.
Now you got to think that Hampus Lindholm and who else on the defense? There's a few.
Well, Jen Neal said Sami Vatanen could be lost. Cam Fowler could be lost.
I also wonder when I look at this list and I look at the teams, the players that are not protected. So say you're Boston, you're Tuukka Rask, right?
Okay.
And for whatever reason, it would never happen, but they don't protect Tuukka Rask. There will be trades made because players are so mad that their team didn't protect them. I'm seeing a Marty St. Louis not making Team Canada and Steve Yzerman sort of thing. I feel like this is going to happen.
Can I throw a really, really outrageous one out there? Here, let me just bring it up so that I can. People are going to be pissed. People are going to call me an idiot.
I mean, really, they already are. So you just pissed off the entire state of Utah.
Why would the New York Rangers protect Henrik Lundqvist? Yeah, see?
How old is he? Is he 37?
He's 34.
34.
And
Why do I keep thinking he's ancient?
He has 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. After this year, 1, 2, 3, 4 years left at $8.5 million.
I have the answer to that question.
Yes.
They would protect him because he is on the list they are required to protect.
Well, thank you, Jesse.
So
there you answered that for me. Okay, answer this. Is Pekka Rinne on Nashville's list? Did he make the list?
Who's there? Well, we'll go down.
Are we getting there?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Sorry,
let me go through it.
You're right.
So Arizona has to protect Alex Goligoski.
And that's it.
Boston has 4 guys. David Backes, Patrice Bergeron, Zdeno Chara, David Krejci. I don't hate any of those. Chara, you're just like, he's slowing down, but he's Zdeno Chara. You want him to retire a Bruin, so what?
Well, isn't he?
He's still good.
Oh, no, he's got 1 year left.
Before Boston fans get mad. He's
got
still
1
good.
year left.
Buffalo, Kyle Okposo.
That's it.
Carolina.
That's a good position for them to be in.
Carolina,
sure.
Jordan Staal. It's a good spot for them.
Great.
Columbus, Bobrovsky. Clarkson,
Ooh.
Dubinsky, Foligno,
Like, no.
and Hartnell.
Now, how much time does Hartnell have left?
It's a good question. If General Fanager existed, we could
I am bringing it up right now.
No, it's cap friendly, right? Cap friendly.
Cap friendly, yeah, sorry. Hartnell has 2 years left after this one at
5 million?
4.75.
I think one of the more interesting things will be the players who waive their no move clause, so they're no longer on this list. So they say, hey, if I can go to Vegas, I'll waive it. And you can expose me.
I bet there's players that will.
Yeah.
I bet there's players that are like, you know what? I want to go.
Like
Okay.
Hartnell, he might be a guy. Might be like, hey, I have a no move clause, but I'm going to waive it, and you can expose me in the expansion draft.
Now, Chicago already has the 8 players that they have to
Oh my
protect.
God.
They don't have a choice. So,
Wow.
Anisimov, Crawford, Halmerson, Hossa, Kane, Keith, Seabrook, Tays. You don't hate any of those.
Nope.
That's the team.
That's the team.
So, and by the way, if anybody wants to get into that zone, they can. Chicago has made their bed, and it's a pretty damn good bed. Everybody else is a moving part.
yep.
3 cups.
3 cups.
Yeah, yes, they are tied down. They're a little strapped, a little constricted. There's the word. So what?
This one surprised me mostly because I'm surprised he's still playing and has a no movement clause. Francois Beauchemin in Colorado
Good for him.
and Eric Johnson. Wow.
He's got now, and there's a guy.
Is that the guy for the Leafs? Should I
I'd
suppress-
take him back.
Eric Johnson or Francois Beauchemin?
Bosch. I'd do it. I don't know if he would.
Well, what? Okay, so what? First off, any player comes with the I like the way he plays, but how much does he make? Because what we don't
here's
want
the
is another
problem.
Roby Duck.
Okay, here's the good thing. 1 year left after this one.
Okay.
Here's the rough thing. 4.5.
Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
think
Unless
there's something there.
if Colorado retains, and they have to retain 50%.
I don't know about 50. But
They have to retain 50%. That's
can
the
we
only way
agree
to do
that there
deal.
is something there?
If there's major retention on Colorado's part.
But see, you're throwing out an if, so there's something there.
Yes. Or they can take Colin Greening or Brooks Like or both.
Yeah, there's something
Trade
there.
salary for salary.
There's something there.
At least he's usable salary.
Something there.
Okay, because as per Elliot Friedman, I don't know this myself. The Leafs are not exactly jacked about the fact that they're $30 million sitting in the AHL. Basically, they're not pumped or not sitting on the roster.
Yeah,
right? They're not excited about it. It's something that they have to deal with. But if they could move a Greening, a Mahalik, actually, I don't know.
Yes.
Jesse? Are you touching Steve's leg?
I thought Steve was scratching his leg, and I thought I'd help out.
Oh, no.
very
I was
nice.
stretching it.
No,
I was like,
trying
what
to
is he
stretch
doing?
it out
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
okay,
here.
that's very nice that you guys are touching each other.
That was probably a weird
Guys, that
moment.
was really
on
awkward for me, and also
He
I couldn't-
massaged my shin just now.
and I couldn't
You're
see.
the worst at this.
I couldn't see it over the table, so it could have been anything.
Just trying to help out a friend.
But yeah,
What a great producer.
Francois Beauchemin, maybe. But then you have to protect him. I make that deal after the expansion draft.
But also, the reason he's on this list is because he's got a no move. So
you have
you
to waive
gotta
it.
convince. Yeah,
and he won't.
it's a mess. It's a mess. Hey, Francois, you want to go to Toronto or you want to go to Vegas? And this is going to be the thing. Okay, either we. Oh wait, no, they don't have to expose him. They can't expose
You have to
him.
stay or you get to stay in Colorado. Stay in Colorado or go to
It's
Toronto.
all very interesting. Anyway, continue.
Dallas says Jamie Benn and Jason Spezza have to protect them.
Did you say Detroit?
Detroit, Franz Nielsen.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Edmonton, Milan Lucic, Andrei Sekera, Cam Talbot. Fine. Nothing crazy there. Florida, Keith Yandel, which I don't think they hate. Los Angeles, one player for Los Angeles. This is going to be the thing that saves Dean Lombardi's booty when it comes to, I think anyway, their cap situation, because it's going to be a struggle for them. The only person they have to protect is the one guy you'd want to protect, and that is Anze Kopitar.
And they already just dodged such a damn bullet with that Richards settlement.
And he's going to be paid till he's 86.
They don't have to protect Dustin Brown, huh?
Well, it doesn't
I
mean
think we
Vegas
found our captain of the Golden Knights.
You think the Vegas will claim him? I don't think they will.
Maybe.
No, not with Tom there. Not with our boy Tom. Formerly Jonathan.
Hey, you never know.
I don't think he would. Mikko Koivu, Zach Parise, Jason Pominville, and Ryan Suter in Minnesota. No real surprises on that list, although I bet Minnesota would really. They're right up against the cap too.
That's a youngish team too.
Montreal, 2 people.
Oh,
You don't hang on-
bummer.
Jeff Petrie and Carey Price. You have to hang on to Carey
Oh,
Price.
no.
Nashville has to protect Pecorine. Has
Okay.
to, unless he waives it. Islanders, Johnny Boychuk, Johnny Boston.
No, you missed a good one.
Oh,
Look at New Jersey.
Ryan Clough. Now he's on LTIR.
Yes.
So, like he's
Forever. Let me check real quick.
so yeah. Ryan, poor guy. Like he's just concussions, man. I didn't love that deal anyway.
No, that was a bad deal the day it was signed. And oh my God.
and he didn't. Play
Oh
much.
my God. They have a cap recapture penalty for Ilya Kovalchuk at $250,000 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. It shows on here.
Close the assistant coach too. I didn't know that.
Is he?
Yeah, he retired in 2015 officially.
You know what? I like
assistant
that.
coach now.
But Pronger
I
hasn't
like that they
officially
allow
retired.
it.
either.
Well, he hasn't officially retired either, I guess, but he's the assistant coach now.
Why can't I find him? I can't seem to find Chloe on here. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry. Oh, he's only got 1 year left at 4.85.
That's not so bad. Whatever.
nice.
And you got him on LTIR.
Do they have to pay him a coach's salary?
No.
Like, do they have to pay him on top
No,
of
he's,
it?
he's an employee of the team. He's an employee.
Oh, wow.
I think, unless the
If I'm his agent, I'm arguing no.
and if the Players Association would argue that too, but
He can make his salary like $1.
there's no coaches association.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's something he would push for, but it is technically another job.
There's no union of coaches though. So
It's like that Tim Gleason thing. Like the
Yeah.
Leafs are still paying him, and I think he was I don't know if he still is an assistant coach for the Hurricanes. He doesn't need a salary, but
You
he's
know what?
doing
And
a
these guys-
job, a different job than the one he agreed to.
And they probably want to stay in hockey. So he's probably like, thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm going to be here. I'm going to learn how to coach. And maybe I'll do your AHL team for a while, and then I'll be an NHL coach one day.
And that is how some people look at it. Not all.
That's how I'd look at it. Islanders, Johnny Boychuk, Andrew Ladd, John Tavares. Damn, I keep forgetting Andrew Ladd's an Islander.
Yeah, their fans don't. They are not stoked on that deal.
Rangers are not going to be stoked about this. This is the one that really stood out to me. Dan Girardi, which is on its own, just Dan Girardi. Poor guy. Henrik Lundqvist, which you don't hate, but boy,
That's a lot of money,
but
man.
they're good this year because Henrik Lundqvist is still Henrik Lundqvist.
No, they're good this year because their shooting percentage is stupid. And Michael Grabner is Michael Gretzky.
Yeah, right now. We'll see how long. Yeah, he's up there with McDavid, Crosby, and Ovechkin, I think.
I think he's 2 goals shy of the league lead.
Yeah, he's tied with Ovechkin.
He's got 3 more goals already than he did with the Leafs last year.
Would have been nice if he could have scored like that with the Leafs
Oh
last
my
year.
God.
Funny what
He
happens.
had his chances. If he scored on half of the breakaways he had a 20-goal season.
Mark Stahl, Rick Nash, Henrik Lundqvist, Dan Girardi for the Rangers. That's rough. Now,
I wonder
is Mark
if Rick
Stahl,
Nash gets moved.
Is Mark Stahl still Mark Stahl?
I don't know. I don't know enough.
Because I've read some things that he's not, and I've read some things that he is, and I don't know. I can't.
It
tell.
seems like everyone doubts every stall. At some point or another, everyone has been like, this stall is overpaid.
Yeah.
Mark Stahl, ooh, baby. After this year, he makes 5.7 for the next 4 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a bit of a rough one, but he's 29.
Ottawa only has to protect one player. It's Dion Phaneuf. Philadelphia only has to protect one player, which is Claude Giroux.
That makes the Phaneuf trade look a little bit better, doesn't it?
I never didn't like the Phaneuf trade.
No, I know, but it's just another thing.
just another
they
thing.
don't have to protect them.
Yeah. I think the fact that they got guys all on expiring deals within the next year and a half, which was Mahalik, Greening, and Greening, and Cowan.
Jared Cowan, thank you.
I almost said.
Which,
I
is
almost
that
said Brooks
thing
Laich.
resolved yet?
Not yet.
Holy smokes.
So you got those three, and then you've got Tobias Lindholm out of that too. Lindbergh. I always get that mixed up. Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby, Marc-Andre Fleury, Phil Kessel, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, and you're fine with that.
Yeah, you are.
you won the cup.
Fleury's going to be an issue, but
They're going to trade Fleury.
they'll
trade him.
have to figure something out.
Tampa Bay, Ryan Callahan, Valtteri Filppula, Victor Hedman, and Steven Stamkos. I was actually just in a meeting earlier, and we were talking about Victoria, which is why I said Victoria. Sorry.
That Callahan, man.
Callahan.
Because what's the max number of forwards you're allowed to protect? Is it 8?
8 of any skater or 4 and 3, I
There you go.
believe.
So you got Filppula. Let's take. Okay, Stamkos, Filppula, Callahan. We got 3. So I'm only allowed to protect 1 more forward,
If you go with that side of the...
but I could
the
protect.
option.
Okay,
Callahan's making like
skaters.
5.5, right? He signed the extension
No.
2 years ago, though.
he's making more than that, I think. Here, let's look this
So
up.
his
real
deal
quick.
might be up in a couple years.
Callahan, 3 years after this one, 5.8. So here are the Lightning forwards. Braden Point. Okay, he'll probably be exempt, I think. Cedric Paquette, Jonathan Drouin. I'm not sure he'll be exempt. JT Brown, Eric Condra, Vladimir Nemesnikov, Brian Boyle, Andre Palat, Tyler Johnson, Alex Killorn, Nikita Kucherov. You can't keep them all.
So it's 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 skaters and 1 goalie.
Early press conference question. Is Ryan Callahan at $3 million for the next 3 year attractive?
No. The Leafs don't need a winger.
No.
Not for the Leafs.
No.
For anyone? Oh, for sure.
So
I
a
think
deal
so.
can be made. They may have to
Vancouver.
eat some salary.
Oh my God, they absolutely
he would be
too.
perfect for
Oh, they
Vancouver.
would.
They need a 20 goal. He can score 20 goals. Ish.
I don't know anymore. There's too many things to look up. Jesus. Okay. Yes.
Toronto. Nathan Horton.
That sucks.
Does it?
Oh, it
Do we
just
even
sucks
have-
that they have to.
Do we have 8 guys?
Hey, you know who we don't
Yeah,
have?
that's true.
You know who we don't have to protect? Dave Clarkson.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're gonna have to anyway.
Yeah. And by the way, all the guys that you'd want to make sure are protected, Matthews, Marner, Nylander,
You don't have to.
are exempt.
Yeah.
Now, if the Leafs lose a forward, though, you got to remember they lost that forward because of a mistake that Dave Nonis made years ago.
Now, if you look at it like that, you'll live your entire life in a anxious, nutty shell.
That's what. No, but the reason I point that out is every time you look at a contract that's too long and you go, whatever. There's why you don't say whatever.
If I'm looking at the Leafs team, and this is gonna, I think this might surprise some people. I look at maybe Bozak or Komarov being unprotected.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about that, but you don't. Bozak has been too good
Not to protect.
to. Well, no, he's been too good to let him walk for nothing. Same with Komarov. Those are
I
commodities.
don't love Leo Komarov leaving. I just think with the money they're going to have a ton of free cash anyway at the end of the year. Tons of free cash. And that's why I really think they're going to make a play for Shattenkirk in the on July 1st. But the way I see it, if you have a guy like, Bozak, who's I think 4.2 for 2 more years, or Komarov, who's almost 3 for another year.
Let's get this up.
You could pull. It's not crazy to think that some of those guys who are playing a fairly major role in the team this year might be unprotected.
Bozak 1 more year at 4.2. Komarov 1 more year at 2.95. So 3. Let's call it what it is. Bozak is 30. Komarov is 29.
They're not in your window. And the thing is,
It's funny. Everyone's going to lose someone.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Leafs lost like a Brendan Leipzig or something, like someone who's got upside.
That would be horrible. That would be terrible asset management. And I would be really upset. Would you be more
upset about losing Komarov or Bozak or Leipzig?
Well, here's the thing. If you trade Bozak, will you get a prospect at the level of Brendan Leipzig in return? Maybe. If you trade Leo Komarov, will you get a prospect of the quality of Brendan Leipzig in return? Maybe. If you have Brendan Leipzig, you have a quality of Brendan Leipzig's quality. Or Kasperi Kapanen or whatever.
I don't think
whatever.
they have to. I don't think Kapanen's unprotected though.
Yeah, so I need
He's
to
protected.
really dig into the...
It has to do with basically rookie. It's a rookie thing. I think because Leipzig has been a professional for more than, is it 3 years?
Yeah, I encourage everyone to go to capfriendly.com, go to the expansion draft tool.
I'm going to go through
because
that.
it's got players who are unprotected, players who aren't, and then there's players who might be protected. And because it's based on a number of games. So Leipzig is a guy who, like, if the Leafs were to call him up right now and he stayed a Leaf for the rest of the season, they would have to protect him.
So that might be the reason why Brendan Leipzig doesn't play on the team this year.
Maybe. So, like, okay, Joffrey Lupul has 24 games remaining. It says, okay, so 24 games required to meet the exposure requirement. Van Riem's like 10 games. Milan Mahalik, 20 games. Well, you don't care about that. Colin Greening, 39 games. You don't care about that. Kirby Reichel, 38. So if he gets called up and plays the rest of the season. No, sorry, that was Peter Holland at 38. Kirby Reichel at 20. Connor Brown at 22. So you're probably going to have to protect Connor Brown. Ben Smith at 40. He's a free agent anyway. That's fine. Yeah, Leipzig has 40 games left. And Byron Fraser's 14. Yada, yada, yada. Go look it up.
Barely at 8 guys.
Yeah, I really got to play with this. I'm going to write around it too.
Yeah, I got to look at that too.
Got some interesting decisions.
Quickly to get through, Vancouver's my favorite.
Oh, yes.
Louis Eriksson and Henrik and Daniel.
Not a single piece of their future. Well, that's not true. Louis Eriksson, because he's there forever.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. He is their future. Winnipeg, Dustin Byfuglien, and Toby Enstrom.
Now, teams without any players that they're required to protect. Calgary, San Jose.
That might change now with the Brent Burns deal.
Oh, maybe. How long ago did he write this?
No, isn't this article from today?
He wrote it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I guess we're okay.
Interesting.
I would have a hard time believing that Brent Burns did not have a no move.
It's St. Louis and Washington.
Wow.
Man, 3 of those teams are cup contenders.
Good for them.
That's insane. And like we keep talking about how Washington at some point their window's going to end. That's how you keep it going.
Good asset management.
That's how you keep it going. That's great. That is really good of them. Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Very good. Very good.
Poetry
Interesting.
Snaps. Poetry snaps to them.
Poetry snap. That is going to be a really, really fascinating time. The expansion draft.
Yep, it is. And I think there will be many deals made just based on the fact that the season will be over. That will be the fun season. It will be before the draft. And before the expansion draft and before the draft, where we really start to see NHL teams sweat and move. Like Pittsburgh's gonna have to make a deal. You don't want to lose Matt Murray.
And this is another thing. A lot of Penguins fans, they just love Flower. They love Marc-Andre Fleury. He's such a great guy, and he's so funny, and he helped us win some cups. If he costs you Matt Murray, you're going to fall out of love with him real quick.
Question for you. Can you protect... It's 8 skaters, right?
You can't protect 2
skaters
goalies.
or 1 goalie, and 1 goalie, or 7
so forwards. So you can only protect 1 goalie?
1 goalie.
Yeah, no matter what.
Then there's your answer. You got to trade him. And there's a lot of teams that could use a Marc-Andre Fleury, even though the goalie market's not great. At his level...
It's very interesting.
Who is Calgary's goaltender again?
Brian Elliott and Chad Johnson.
Yeah, they just
right now it's
Brian
Chad
Elliott.
Johnson.
Because Brian's injured?
No, because he's better.
Wow.
Right
and
now
they
he's better.
just signed him to that 3-year deal too, right? Didn't
Did they?
Brian
I don't
Elliott?
know. I don't know.
Who's more likely to goaltend the Golden Knights? Ben Bishop or Marc-Andre Fleury?
And now this is oh man.
Good question.
This could be Tampa's saving grace, right? Because isn't the rule if you sign a free agent from a team, you're not allowed to take a player in the expansion draft
That's
from
right.
that team?
Yeah. If they sign
Ben
it
Bishop.
within that window.
That 48
1 day. Yeah, those 2 days before the draft.
So you're basically you're trading Ben Bishop for Andre Palat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're making a trade with yourself.
Do they have does Tampa have the goaltending help behind Ben Bishop?
Andre Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
Do you think but do you think he's
I mean,
equal?
I don't know if he's quite Ben Bishop, but he's good. He's good. That's a good replacement.
Okay.
It's a good start, that's for sure.
Leads the league in goal against average, I believe.
Who's that? Vasilevsky or Bishop?
Vasilevsky.
It's a bullshit stat. No, I'm kidding.
It is a bullshit stat,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Fun fact.
By the way, any team that or any goalie that leads the league in goals against average is usually pretty good. Bullshit stat or not. Right.
No, they have a good team. It's an indicator of you having a good team.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If Frederik Andersen faces 65 shots and allows 4 of them in, his goals against average is 4 for that game.
Oh, because it's rated on per game, isn't it? For
Yeah.
60 minutes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So let's say he faces 65 shots every game.
Goals against
And every game he allows 4. His goals against average is 4.
Goals
and
against
it's dead
average
last.
should be based on shots taken.
No,
should
no,
it not?
that's save percentage.
That save percentage.
Oh, so save percentage.
Goals against average is horseshit.
Why don't?
Well, it's not.
God, I'm brain dead
horseshit.
today.
It's, just-
It is.
it's not the best.
It's kind of like RBIs.
No, it's like wins for a pitcher.
Yeah, there you go.
You could allow 0 runs in a game and lose a baseball.
Remember
game.
the who was the Blue Jays player?
Roy Halladay?
There was a guy who was on our team 2 years ago on our first run, and I can't remember his name. He didn't even play with the Jays this year, but he had like 15 wins and an ERA of like 7.
Yeah.
Burley?
Not Burley. No, Burley was good up until the end. His arm just gave out. What was it? He was a young guy who they thought he was going to be great, and then he just like typical MLB.
Ricky Romero?
Not Ricky Romero.
Not
Brett
this
Cecil.
season.
No,
I don't
last
know.
season.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Oh, what was his name? Dustin? Not Dustin. What?
McGowan?
Dustin McGowan.
That was years ago though.
No, he had like 15 wins. No, is it Dustin McGowan?
I wouldn't tell Jesse no when it comes to baseball. He loves his baseball.
Dustin McGowan hasn't
Jays
played for us in a couple of years.
2015. Hang on, let me get the roster here.
This is crazy when we all have computers in front of us.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
Well, so here's the pitching. I'm looking. Hang on. I know somebody is Drew Hutchison.
Okay.
13 wins, 5 losses, 5.57 ERA.
Jesus.
Just
perfect.
disgusting. But
that's
every
pretty
time he
bad.
played, he had like 8 runs support. So
The
he
Chris
won.
Osgood of pitchers.
Yes, exactly. Anyway,
By the way, Chris Osgood's going to get into the Hall of Fame, and it's going to make a lot of people mad, but whatever.
So, did you want to say something about JT Brown and the iPhone incident?
I don't know. Kind of tweeted my piece.
Okay.
Well, okay. So here's what happened. Ryan Ellis takes a run at GT Brown. It was definitely interference. He didn't have the puck. GT Brown fights him. Everyone gets all mad. The game is in Nashville. As Brown is going off the ice, a fan has their phone in his face, and he smacks the phone out of the fan's hand. And the fan gives that footage to TMZ and then sends a picture of their phone and just says, you know what? I'm not going to pursue legal action. Which, oh, how kind of you, sir. But I want Tampa to comp me a new phone. Now,
I thought the TMZ payment would comp him the new phone.
that was the first thing I thought of. Oh, did you just give that to TMZ out of the kindness of your heart?
No.
Their champ? Or whatever his name was. It was in the article. I don't know. I hate giving TMZ clicks, but whatever. Yeah, so you just gave that to them out of the kindness of your own heart? Surely they gave you at least $500. Go get yourself a new phone there, bud. Second, what a weird phone that guy had. I think it was time for an update anyway. This is a really weird phone that records video with no audio. Unless he took the audio out. Do you think he did that?
I don't think he took the audio out. I think he sold it with the condition that they couldn't post it with the audio.
Oh, well, it's just funny.
Which is because if he was being a jerk.
It's just funny because someone sent me another video. I think it was taken from another phone, like right next to this guy.
Oh,
That had a little bit of audio.
Had a little bit of audio.
what did the audio say?
Something that sounded an awfully. It was one letter off from wussy. And now look, some people were going, look, JT Brown is a pro sports player. He can't be assaulting fans. Look,
That's not assault.
well,
He's also
yeah,
a
he
person.
smacked the phone. Look, JT Brown shouldn't have done that. I just think when you scream at someone with a phone in their face and then they slap the phone
not
out
assault.
of your hand, it's not weird.
And it's not assault.
I'm not saying it's legal or illegal. I'm just saying it's not weird.
Now I know there's a bunch of lawyers who are like, yeah, it is assault. Actually, yeah, I know that, but
Yeah.
really, by definition, it shouldn't be. If you are in someone's face and they react,
If someone comes up to you in a bar and has a phone in your face and says, "Hey, you're a wussy," you're probably gonna slap them.
I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna remove the phone from in front of my face. That's for sure. Like, what gives you? How entitled do you have to be to think that's fine?
Yeah.
and you know what?
I mean, you are allowed to yell things, I guess, at certain things.
But he wins.
in a sports.
So you get he wins here, right?
Who-
the fan
who
wins
wins?
here. He gets a new
He
phone.
wins twice.
He wins twice.
He's gonna get a new phone. He got paid by TMZ. He's got all this attention.
And you know what people say? Well, he's got bad karma for the rest of his life. Well, no. I think the fact of the matter is that needs to be something that the ushers step in and go, you're out. See you later.
I think it's banned for life. But they say you can't come in our arena anymore.
Yeah.
You're a dickweed. Get out.
Enjoy your $2,000 from TMZ, a-hole.
Yeah, and you can never
You
go
think
to hockey
$2,000?
again.
Probably.
No, for a Predators clip, you think?
Yeah, because they were trying to make TMZ Sports a thing, right? They've got that on Fox Sports. They really want it to be because there's a lot of interest there. I think TMZ. If I'm TMZ and I have the money that TMZ has, I pay $2,000 for that. What the
And
heck?
the ad clicks on the page just
The
for
ad
that
clicks
video
are
are
just-
going to make that back
I'm
in a
not
second.
saying JT Brown should have slapped this guy or his phone. I am saying good for JT Brown and screw this guy.
So a couple things. Before,
I found his Twitter, by the way. It's protected.
Of course it is. A couple things before the press conference. Just a couple quick things. First off, because it's Thanksgiving, I would like to introduce you to what it would be like at Steve's house during Thanksgiving with all of his relatives.
Boppity boopity.
Other side. All right, you guys ready?
Oh, the other side.
I
Okay.
want you to try to tell me what this guy is saying in this video. Are you ready?
Oh, is this Scottish? Oh, boy.
Right, don't put too much weight on it, right?
Wait, what the fuck am I meant to put my weight? Wait, I can't put my weight in the roof instead, for I can't hold on to the bar. What am I meant to do that? Oh, here I'm going. Hold it for 5 minutes. You fucking wank stain.
I actually got most of that.
What the fuck are you talking about? I can't put my weight on the fucking
Here,
roof.
can you play
I
it
can't put
section
my
by
weight in the bar.
section?
Where's it meant to go?
Play it section by section. Okay.
All right. So we'll
Okay.
start from the beginning again. Full context here, and this isn't really fair. I shouldn't tell you where he's standing,
Weinstein.
but
I've never heard that one.
he's standing on a roof, and I guess the roof is unsafe. So his friend who's filming him is trying to help him.
Okay.
Here we go.
Right, don't put too much weight on it, right?
Wait, what the fuck am I meant to put my weight? Wait, I can't put my weight in the roof instead, for I can't hold on to the bar. What am I meant to do that? Oh, here I'm going. Hold it for 5 minutes. You
Okay.
fucking wank stain.
All right, I didn't get as much of that as I thought. Holy shit.
Yeah, and this video is a minute long. So ready to keep going?
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
don't shift your weight. What the fuck are you talking about?
Don't shift your
I can't put
weight.
my weight on the fucking roof. I can't put my weight in the car. Where's it meant to go? No, man, I can't just fucking move it.
What is that word?
Which
can
one?
he? Can he
The last thing you just said.
move it?
Move it.
Oh,
it was
but
2 words.
These are like boof.
No, no.
He's in the bush.
Oh, yeah.
English.
It's not. It's Scottish.
You fucking what? That's how agitated I'm getting now. You really fucking agitated me.
Adjectives.
It was you. Fucking fuck. It was you.
Agitated.
Oh,
You
agitated.
really
I
fucking
heard
agitated
adjectives.
me, yeah.
Wanted to go up that.
Okay, so this you're only gonna get this if you're Scottish or
Yeah.
know Scottish people, but like I will regularly have a conversation with my mother-in-law where her story ends with "you can," and I go, "Yeah, I know," because those mean the same thing.
Right.
Can is no. So I can't speak it, and I can't do the accent either. Like I can do some impressions, but geez, I can't do a Scottish accent for the life of me. But I know a lot of the slang, or not even slang. Like, I guess what would you call that? Dialect?
It's a dialect because the words for us run together. But we're
Yeah.
a dialect. I mean, British English is the way it's supposed to be spoken.
Supposedly.
But out of that, you get New Zealand, you get South Africa, you get Australia, you get the southern United States, you get the northern United States, you get us. Everybody's got my one of my business partner, my agent basically, is in the States, and he says I say a boot. But when I listen to him
is
say
not
it,
true.
he's from the West Coast, he's from Seattle, and he says it about.
About. Yeah, it's spelled with a bunch of W's.
Yeah, it's not about that.
And we spell it with a bunch of O's and H's.
Yeah. So, and I'm like,
About.
I didn't know that. I didn't even realize that I had some sort of dialect accent. But of course, and that's literally the difference of an imaginary line on the map.
Well, and the trippy thing about having, family with thick accents is you start to hear your own. You're not supposed to hear your own.
Oh, that must be weird.
Yeah.
Because we come from.
I sound like a hoser. I didn't realize it.
We come from a part of the world where actually something weird broadcasting thing, but a lot of American broadcasters will look and try to find some sort of either
They invent an accent that doesn't exist.
Eastern American, Northeastern American accent outside of Boston, or Canada in like, you know, anywhere from Vancouver, you know, Alberta, Southern Ontario. They'll try to find talent, like people to go down and work, because we have such a non-accent accent.
Yeah.
It's such an accepted, that's how it's supposed to sound, and everybody else sounds different. Isn't that funny?
Torontonians in Vancouver, it's basically, I don't know. I didn't notice a difference when I was there.
Calgary,
Jesse,
Edmonton?
you let me know if you notice one.
No, I will.
Like, I know in the cities, absolutely not. It's all the same. Outside of the cities, you go to like anywhere in Alberta, not Calgary or Edmonton, you hear it.
I noticed that like an hour outside of Toronto.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if you stop at any en route, you're like, when did they all turned into Ray from Rodney, Ontario? The YouTube.
Do it.
I can't do it without swearing. You know, just fucking, you know, it's that guy.
Fucking rights, bud.
It's oh yeah.
Well,
oh yeah, for sure. Want to go to the bar?
Oh yeah, and then that's East Coast Bar
am
Star.
I in Guelph or Halifax?
Yeah. Now this one's an older clip, but I'm going to play it anyway because it just listened to that Scottish guy rant.
Okay.
This is an Irish kid. I want to see if you guys remember.
Oh, is this the girl?
Hold on.
Okay, yep.
It was a wintry walk to school in Part Village, but they're a hardy breed in these parts. Well, the mother says we had to go anyway. We hadn't much a choice in the matter, but sure. It's a cool journey to school this morning. Oh, good, you wouldn't be long getting frostbite.
Frostbite.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't be long for getting frostbite.
Play that again.
That, and by the way, that kid is like 14 years old. He sounds like a British uncle. Like he is.
That was a 14-year-old?
14-year-old, and he's Irish. Sounds. Yeah, he's like 14.
It was a wintry walk to school in Part
Not
Village,
this guy.
but they're a hardy breed in these parts.
This guy.
Well, the mother says we had to go anyway. We hadn't much a choice in the matter, but sure. It's a cool journey to school.
He's 86 years old.
Oh, good, you wouldn't be long getting frostbite.
That's a 63-year-old farmer, like before he harvests his last crop, before he, like, whatever, farmer retirement. Whatever
Farm retirement.
Farm retirement.
We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun. He's actually, it's funny because when they interview him, he's in, you know, because it's funny on those islands, those crazy British Isles, Ireland, England, Scotland, they all have to wear suits to school. They all have to wear ties and they all have to wear
uniforms.
Uniforms. That's
Yes.
right. So he actually looks like quite put together, and I'm like, he literally looks like your uncle. Like he's just, it's the craziest thing. Anyway,
The UK is the best.
it is. It's a wild place.
It's
And
fun.
You drive an hour, and everything's changed. Like you go into Wales, and you're like, this is a completely different language. What's happened here?
We took a day trip from Aberdeen to Inverness,
Yeah.
which Inverness, as they call it,
Inverness.
Inverness, and it's like, wow, really? And like, are you staying there? Or are you going to come back today? And that is not far off. It's a little bit further. It's like here to Belleville,
It's not
maybe
far.
less.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the commute I do for this podcast. Glasgow to Edinburgh is the commute I do for this podcast.
Yep.
Basically.
Well,
And that's like that's a thing.
so Caprice,
that's a to-do.
Caprice and I were in Manchester this summer, and we were on the university campus there. By the way, Manchester's beautiful. Got to see it. And we had taken the Virgin train up the coast through not up the coast, but like through the hills and the valleys. And
that was a hoser.
We end up in Manchester, and we were talking to someone. They're like, "Where are you guys Yanks?" Everybody asks. So yeah, you Yanks, and we're like,
Which
"We're
is,
not."
by the way, it makes me not want to talk out loud in public.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, but okay, Americans. How come? Yes, exactly. They know why. They're not received well internationally all the time. And I like to go, no, I'm the other one. No
Canadian.
offense, Americans. You're my
Yeah.
friends. Happy Thanksgiving. But yeah, people do look at you funny.
Well-
they look at you funny, and then you tell them you're from Canada. You just see it melt off them.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, man.
But you have to break that ice with them because they assume that you're American.
yeah, and I love telling people I'm from Canada and I work in hockey. I love just being a walking, talking stereotype.
Yeah. You're wearing flannel.
Yeah, pass me a beer. Toss me a ham up the accent that I don't have.
So this is a 2.5 hour train ride.
I'm wearing flannel.
And it is a $20, $30 pound, train ride. It's not far. It's not long, not hard. North Americans, we're used to moving around. Mm-hmm. We're used to going and seeing Boston and New York and Chicago
will drive
and
to Florida.
Yeah, we'll drive to Florida. 24-hour drive. We'll do it. 2-hour flight. We'll do it.
That's the entire island.
Yeah. So this woman in Manchester, and she said, and none of my friends too, after she made the statement she said, oh, where are you guys visiting now that you're here? We said, well, London, Liverpool. We went to Paris. And she said, yeah, I've never been to London.
She's from Manchester?
I almost fell over. I was like, what do you mean you've never been? She's like, yeah, nobody really goes down to London. Like, we'll go to Europe. She's like, I've been to Brussels. I've been to thing. I've been all over. Never been to London. I'm like, you don't travel within your own country? It's so easy. And she's
That's like someone from our London never going to Toronto.
Yeah. You have to go at least once, right?
Maybe I can't believe she never had a reason to.
Maybe our British listeners can shine some light on that one. I got the sense that if you're living in England, you don't travel within England, you go to Europe. You go to the rest of Europe. You're not really interested in the rest of England.
We live in a wacky time because it wasn't until I think it was a couple hundred years ago I saw some map where it's like most, not just people, but like bloodlines don't move with
50 kilometers.
I think it was like 20.
Oh, wow.
Well, because think if you had to, what's the furthest you've ever walked? I don't know if it was 20K. That's far, man.
And why would you need to?
Why would you need to? I've walked like 5K home from the bar or something like that.
How long did you walk when you were playing Pokemon Go?
It took me forever, man. That's part of the reason I was like, yo, I got to walk 10K for this. So I would intentionally like book downtown days where I would just walk a lot. But like, I never have to walk 10K.
No.
Screw this. And it's a high level Zubat. Thanks. Throw my phone in the lake.
That's why I stopped playing.
Yeah, I deleted it. It's gone.
Goodbye.
It's gone.
By the way, Ditto's now available for all you Pokemon Go players that are still playing. Who cares? The other thing I want to point out is something that has to do with Jesse.
Oh dear.
I got
you smiling?
I got a message on Twitter from a man named Austin.
Oh,
not Austin Matthews, but an Austin M.
What?
Austin M said to me, Austin Miller, I would like to make the claim that I didn't say boring ass rant when I asked my question for the SDP last episode. Do you remember the question? Jesse said, Adam, what will your boring ass rant about Caprice's present be this year? And Austin said, I didn't say that. He said, I actually found the original rant quite entertaining, and I'm throwing Producy Shipman under the bus for this one.
So wait, Jesse is the one who's called it a boring ass rant?
Jesse added that for dramatic flair.
Awesome.
Wow. Wow. Misrepresenting the facts.
Facts.
I think I need to apologize. I think I need to say sorry to Adam. Sorry to Steve. Sorry to all the listeners for entertaining you so much by adding a little flair to the question. In my opinion, on Adam's rant, I thought I would add it into the question. I'm sorry I did that because it was just clearly too entertaining for Adam to handle. So I apologize.
I was merely bringing it up.
I'm so sorry.
Merely bringing it up.
I want you to have a similar story this year. And I won't look forward to its end at all.
Oh, wow. By the way, Austin's cover photo on Twitter is of all of us together.
Well, that's nice.
Isn't that nerd? Isn't that great? Isn't that nerd? That's nerd. That's nerd. Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Did you guys forgive me for adding a little flair to the question?
You're forgiven.
I forgive you.
Okay. First question comes from Jesse Blake. Alexander Ovechkin scored a hat trick last night. He's 357 goals away from Wayne Gretzky.
Who is this?
Alexander Ovechkin.
Holy shit, seriously? I thought you were going to say Yager.
No.
357?
So, if he averages 30 goals for the next 12 years, he'll pass Gretzky.
That's hard.
He's 31.
What's he at right now? He got a hat trick last night.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up.
31.
He's 357 away.
I think he's got a couple 50-goal seasons left.
Yeah, so he just has to average 30. And if he passes that average of 30, if he does like 35, then it's even less. You know?
And oh my God.
He might.
When is the first season he dips below 30? Because it's not just going to be about ability. It's going to be about injury as well. And he's been pretty fortunate in that regard.
He's at 537 right now.
Wow.
Already.
I hope he goes for it. I hope he Yagers this. I don't care if he's got to play till he's 50 to get it done. Get it done. Do it.
He's going to pass 600 goals next season.
Yeah.
Easily.
Unless he,
Barring injury, yeah.
Also, if he scores over 50, won't it be the 6th time he's done it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already done 7. He's already done it 7 times.
How many consecutive?
The last 3 seasons in a row. And then the one before that was a lockout year where he scored 32.
I really hope people understand that you are watching something you might never see again with Alex Ovechkin. You're watching something you might not see until your kids are your current age with Alex Ovechkin. Can you imagine if this guy played in Gretzky's era? He would murder the world. He's a 6'3".
He'd have been the
240-pound
He'd have been the first 100 goal scorer.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 goals on the career.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
He's scoring 50 goals a season consecutively in an era where they're talking about making the nets bigger and goalie pads smaller because no one can score. He's unbelievable, man. He's gonna, you know what? I'm not saying he's gonna beat Gretzky. I think that's a little far-fetched. He'll crack 800. I think only 7 players, maybe you can look this up. I think 7 players have cracked 700 ever. So that means if he cracks 700, just 700, he'll already be one of the top 8 goal scorers of all time.
Wow. 7 of top 700.
Who are they?
Gretzky, Howe, Yager, Hall, Dion, Esposito, Gardner.
Mike Gardner.
I forgot about Marcel Dion. He never gets his due.
No, well, he never won a cup.
731.
Wow.
How many have passed 800? I think it's 2.
Just Howe and Gretzky.
So he'll be one of the top 3. So the conversation when it comes to goal scoring all time will be Gretzky, Howe, Ovechkin. We're not talking about a superstar. I don't even know if we're talking about a generational talent with him. We're talking about a legend in the making.
But, I mean, quite honestly, if you were to look at his game, he could be a student of the game. Just like Gretzky would be a black stain on the boards if he played in the
Ovechkin
NHL.
could play more like Drouin.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like all the stuff about Paul Coffey from back in the day. And you read some of the criticisms of his game and you go, can't you just admire that he's Paul Coffey?
Yeah.
Isn't there someone else?
Just a beautiful skater.
Like put him with someone, put him with a babysitter, put him with Roman Polak. And just let him be Paul Coffey for crying out loud.
It was like the Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman wasn't there to play offense. Dennis Rodman was there to play defense. So Dennis Rodman didn't even need to walk up the floor when those two were playing, right? Like the team was just that good. I feel like in this particular case, it's the same. It's Ovechkin. There will be detractors. There was detractors on Gretzky. I remember listening to someone say Gretzky was a selfish hockey player.
Yeah, he's a goal suck. The guy with more assists than the second highest scoring player ever has points is a goal suck. It's hilarious.
I bet Yari Curry's pretty okay with the fact that Gretzky was a quote-unquote goal suck.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was all right with that.
I think he's okay.
Answer, 12 years, 38 goal average.
38 goal average?
30
goal average.
Yeah, he's 31.
So he'd be if he scored 30 goals even, it would be till 40.
No,
43?
he'll be like 45, yeah.
43.
43?
12 years, 31, yeah.
I think because of Yager, and I think because of Ovechkin's injury history, I think it's doable.
That's
my answer. Doable.
Let's say he's got 4 seasons. Let's say over the next 4 seasons, we are conservative, LOL, and say he'll get 40 goals. He'll average 40 goals for the next 4 seasons, including this one. Mm-hmm. That's an extra 40, 80, 120, 160 goals.
Off of that 30 goal average.
So then that puts him over 700.
And that puts him at 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, he might do it.
Now,
Nah,
the Gretzky people will be like
892 though.
But the Gretzky
is that what the record is?
802.
No, that's how.
Gretzky is 894.
No, how is 801?
Yeah, that was 801. Yeah.
894.
Right.
894.
And if you look at Gretzky's professional career, if you include the WHA, he's over 1,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you got Ovechkin had 2 seasons lost to a lock. Well, 1.5 season lost to a lockout. The first one when he should have came
Doesn't
in.
matter. Canadian.
Gretzky had the half one, and he had a big injury.
Sorry about that. You just know people are going to make that argument.
You know what the pessimist, or just the jerk in me says?
What?
Every time I see that Gretzky broke Howe's record, and he was in a Kings uniform, I'm like, how many seasons after breaking that record did Gretzky play?
What, the House season?
Like,
Yeah.
how many?
After 800?
Well, he
He didn't crack 900?
he didn't score a lot of goals in the last 5 years. He only played till 97, 98.
No,
He
it was
retired in 98.
He's retired in 99. That was the thing with him.
Oh, was it?
In
Okay.
99 retires in 99.
But he would get like 60 assists and 7 goals.
Yeah, if you look at his final season, I think it was he had 72 points and like over 60 of them were assists.
He had
something like
62 points, 53 assists, 9 goals.
that. There you go. Okay, I was close.
So after he left the Kings in 96, he played 4 more years. St. Louis, 3 with the Rangers.
He probably could have stuffed in an extra year or two.
Like, pass Gretzky the puck. He had 9 goals in 70 games in his last season with the Rangers. Give him the puck. Get him over 900. Jesus.
He should have played another
Come
year.
on.
How many people do you think are
By the way, the
yelling-
Rangers were awful that year too.
Well, they
Awful.
didn't make the playoffs.
A bad team.
How many people in the world right now are yelling about Gretzky not getting the puck enough in 99?
Steve is the only one.
I think
Steve is the only one.
So what's he at? 894?
Gretzky, yes.
You know what you
If
should do?
he has a 100-goal season when he had the 92-goal season, he passes 900.
Question.
I know.
Steve,
I know.
Can you one day
Believe me, I know.
Can you one day do an article on records you wished happened? Or milestones you wish
for sure.
were reached? So Gretzky hitting 900, I don't know, Leafs and Habs in 93 making it to the Cup, like things something like, that's not a record,
Or
but
just, I wouldn't write about this because it's not significant enough, but just little teeny tiny things that bug me. Ron Francis.
like your OCD hockey.
Yeah, OCD hockey. Like Ron Francis played the final 12 regular season games of his career with the Leafs.
Yeah.
He put up 10 points in those 12 games. It was way higher than the pace he was at that season
He was great.
with Carolina. But if he gets 2 more points, he hits 1,800.
And then there's a lockout.
My worst hockey OCD is Martin Brodeur.
What's that one?
Oh, yeah. What is
Not-
that one again?
Not just staying with New Jersey for his whole career.
Staying with New Jersey, but I think part of the reason he continued is he wanted to hit a certain amount of wins or something.
Yeah. I forget what the number
Okay,
is.
we'll do this and then we'll end the show, I guess. Yeah. And they were like, oh, come on, get there. And then it was just obvious that like he's going to have to play too much and he's just not good enough.
He was at 688 wins. I don't know if that was it.
He was never going to get 12 more. He was never going to get 12 more. He was never going to get it. His play fell off. You saw him in St. Louis.
No, I know, but it's not unrealistic for a backup goalie
get-
on a good team to get 12
He got
wins.
3.
Fair.
Yeah, he just didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, he would have had to get 15 then, right? So
Yeah.
he just didn't have it anymore.
Anyway.
But that's a good one. No, but it's a good one. That's a
yeah.
great one, Jesse. And it also just bugs me that he played for St. Louis at all. Like Sundin
Yeah.
with Vancouver. Like why?
Sundin with Vancouver, Mike Modano with the Red Wings, Daniel Alfredson with the Red Wings, Boris Salming with, is it the Red Wings?
Red Wings.
Stop it, Detroit.
Sittler with the Red Wings.
Yeah, and was he
Guy
on the
Lafleur
Flyers?
with the Rangers.
Lanny McDonald with the, oh wait, no, he gets a pass.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he gets a bit of a pass. Well, anyway, geez, we covered a lot today.
We did.
Pissed off some people.
Oh, baby, I can't wait for the tweets. Tomorrow morning,
What, from-
tomorrow morning bathroom is going to be great. Bathroom
sense of
tweet
humor.
segment. Yeah, have a sense
Come
of humor,
on.
for sure.
Oh, that doesn't happen. You're right, that doesn't happen.
I think you're overestimating the amount of people from Utah who care.
Isn't that their whole thing? Like, that's why they didn't even get mad at South Park for Book of Mormon. They're just like, oh, well, gosh, it's so nice that you're doing that.
Yeah, because
You
they're the
made this
nicest
podcast
people.
from nothing? I think that's real good for you. Congrats, sir. Maybe I'll check it out again. Gosh, I hope you talk about something else next time. This is a hockey show? You sure talk about a lot of video games. We don't have any of those.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.